external oblique. But then they totally removed the obliques to see everything under it, including the internal. So I cannot label the internal on this. There is no internal oblique, right? Because when we get the external out of the way, they took the internal with it. So now we're looking at the layer below the obliques, transversus abdominis, and it transverses the trunk, right? Rectus abdominis. Remember, rectus is straight. And then you just need to remember the special name for this tendon down the center of the linea alba.
Yeah.
These other ones are just the tendons in between the bellies of the rectus abdominis. They don't have special names. Once we get the obliques out of the way, besides being able to see the transversus abdominis and the rectus abdominis, we can see the pectoralis minor under the pectoralis major, and we can see a much better shot of the serratus anterior. Let me swing him. Well, let me swing him back around this way because this arm is down and we can see better on this side then, right? So on this side we can see his deltoids. It's a great shot of the deltoid. Remember, this is the spine of the scapula. So above the spine of the scapula is trapezius. If we drop down below these few kind of bulges here, which we're going to name on this side because we got the latissimus dorsi out of the way over here. All right, so on this side, latissimus dorsi, deltoid, trapezius. If I want to label these guys, I'm going to label them on over here because you can see where they originate on the scapula, right? It makes it easier to follow them. So again, right, spine of the scapula, kind of use that as your marker. Okay. Above it, do you remember what it's called? Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and then we got teres major, teres minor. This is deltoid. This is still deltoid. Okay. Well, deltoid here, mostly. There's something else I want to tell you. Oh, you cannot see subscapularis on this, right? But you can see it on the arm model. You can see it on the arm. Yes. So remember that the sits muscles, and the folks with the arms are going to go over that with you too, but sits are our rotator cuff muscles, right, which help us rotate our shoulder. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis, which we cannot see on this bad boy. Teres major, not part of the rotator cuff, but I could still label it. So a good question following that would be, you know, what is this? What muscle group does it belong to? Don't tell me it belongs to the sits, because it doesn't. That's our mnemonic, right? The rotator cuff. Say that again?
What muscle group does it?
Well, I wouldn't. That was a bad example, really. I wouldn't use it for that. Or I would just say none of the above.
Okay.
But I'm more likely, really, to label one of these, you know, that is part of it, and then ask you. Or I'll just ask you as a side note, what, you know, which muscles are part of the rotator cuff group. And you know teres major is not. Gluteus maximus, right? We didn't really get into these down here. We'll talk about this a little bit more when we do the sciatic nerve. That's what that's supposed to be, all right? But like I told you, you only have to know, you know, superficial. So I'm not going to go deeper on you here on this test. So glute max on him also, right? I don't know, I'm not happy with this TFL. The tensor fascial lattice, not very good. And you know, I'm not going to use him for the legs either, although you can tell this is sartorius, right? After you look at the leg for a while, you're going to recognize, oh yeah, that's got to be sartorius, this is rectus femoris, you know what I mean? But I use the leg models for that because you can see, you know, you can follow the whole belly down. So let me quiz you. What's this? Pec major. Very good. Transversus abdominis. Is there an internal oblique?
There is.
Not on this guy. That's right. Remember, internal goes in the opposite direction too. It's cool because the obliques are what allow you to twist. One of them takes you back, one of them twists you forward. Right? And that's why they go in opposite directions. What's this tendon called? Down the middle.